Hey there, Libra, Libra rising, just like me, as well as all of you Libra moon people. This is your monthly astrological forecast for October 2021. And just a quick heads up for y'all. This month is one of those months where the planets are pretty grouped together on one side of the astrology chart. And so to get a more comprehensive read, I highly recommend, not waving off the request to look at your rising or your moon sign. Otherwise, it's going to feel like it's all focused on just one general space in your chart. That being said, we also have three large outer planets going direct after a long retrograde period this month: Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto. I will be talking about them in a separate video. But for now, let's get on and see what is going on for you when it comes to the personal movers: the Sun, Mars, Mercury, Venus, and of course our new moon and full moon of the month. So at the start of the month, we've got the Sun in your sign. A lot of planets are in your sign this month. So the Sun in the first house through the 23rd, the vast majority of the month, the first house being identity, the seat of identity, how you connect to others, your modus operandi, how you get things done, your personal journey, your personal growth, and your personal goals. With the Sun here, we have this focus on healing, emphasis, and growth around your own personal journey, around your own deepest personal goals and your own deepest personal ambitions. This is a time where you are getting a chance to get back in touch with things that you ultimately had maybe let fall by the wayside. Maybe you didn't let them, but they fell by the wayside. Maybe there was something you were trying to create, something you were trying to build, but something else happened, it collapsed, or maybe we set it aside, we got distracted by something, and now we're kind of coming back to not only our true core selves, but our own true core sense of mission. This can apply to a lot of different things. It really all depends on what your personal goal is, right? You know who you are. What is your personal goal? Is it a big move? Is it a big shift in your career? Is it something that you're trying to do for your family, your health, your body? Maybe an artistic project or something that you're trying to do with your own spiritual path. With the Sun in your sign, you are not only getting the opportunity to be realigned with how to bring that forth into being and substantiate, but you are also getting supplied with the connections and the resources to make it happen for real. We also have Mars in your first house, the vast majority of the month, going all the way up through the 30th. Remember, Mars is all about action, passion, energy, the divine ascended masculine, the planet of obstacle clearing, tough tasks, and power. So with Mars in the first house, you are getting, as I will say once more with Mercury here, the wild card blessing. Whenever we have a planet in our first house, we get the wild card blessing of that sign to be able to apply to any area of our life that we want. So it's a good month to think about where you want to take that Mars power for yourself. This is a time to focus on eliminating chronic challenges wherever you have faced them, whether this is a chronic challenge in a personal sphere or something that you have been having a hard time hurdling when it comes to a treasured passion or a treasured pursuit. Mars is also going to be doing some work on your social life, because with Mars in the first house, you are going to be most likely attracting some kind of either new best friend type of experience or some kind of new companion that ultimately is with you, like a ride or die. It's not quite the same as, say, like a one-on-one seventh house connection. It's something that becomes very deep and very, very personal, because essentially you are one and the same. This has been an energy that we have been experiencing, for a little bit. Some of you may already feel like this is clearing a wall or an obstacle between somebody and yourself that you already feel that connection to. This could be platonic, this could be spiritual, this could be professional, or it could be romantic. But the joining of these forces, the joining of these powers is all about the fact that you guys are on the same road and are on the same journey in a very big way. Mars is also going to, however, bring up some personal battles that you will need to face this month as well, so that you can clear them to be eligible to finally step into a higher quality of life, right? Because when Mars is in our first house, we also have to pay attention to the energies around us, the company that we keep, the quality of life that we accept that agrees to a standard of living or agrees to a reality that may or may not be helpful or complementary to what we are trying to bring in. And so there's also a bit of a cleanup, whip things into shape kind of feel going on here. We also have Mercury retrograde in this first house. So this is an interesting energy because you've got Mercury here all month, retrograde through the 18th and direct after, going all the way through November. Mercury retrograde in the first house could create some very interesting shifts in how you see your journey, how you see your connections and what you're invested in, what you really want to commit to, what you want to keep carrying on. And it's giving you an opportunity to do a lot of redirects, especially when it comes to maybe making a big transition with how you want to go on following Mercury direct. If you want to keep carrying on the commitments that you have, or if you wish to release yourself. Now, with Mercury retrograde in the first house, this could be something that is prompted because you are able to have an old dream or an old wish get granted. And so it's kind of like areas where you've been working on the B plan or the safe plan or the rational plan kind of go away, because the A plan, the crazy plan, the dream plan, right? The most romantic, the most fanciful, the most opulent suddenly becomes viable. And whenever we have a Mercury retrograde, there is a time for a bit of switcheroos. See what you can do in order to incorporate this or reincorporate this energy into your life so that you can have your dream or your ideal, finding out where you really sit in the world, that thing you truly identify and connect to, and how do you give it a home? Because with Mercury retrograde in the first house, we're also learning a very important lesson. It's not enough to learn how to manifest something. You have to know how to keep it. You have to know how to have a home for it. And you're getting a chance to learn those lessons and manifest what you desire at the same time. However, with Mercury retrograde in the first house, this can also be a time where you're a little bit lost as to how you truly feel about what does and doesn't resonate with you. So a lot of phases, a lot of lifestyles, a lot of things you've taken on since the last time Mercury was in Libra, which was last year, may be going through a bit of a shakeup. Certain things that do belong will be getting emphasized, and things that ultimately are just never going to fit are going to drop away. We also have Venus in Scorpio in your second house of earned income and employment for the first week of the month through the 7th. And with Venus in the second house, you're on easy street. You're on easy street for a good portion of this month financially, but with Venus in Scorpio, it's all the more apparent. The planet of affection, attraction, favor, and love is making it very easy for you to accumulate wealth without actually having to put in a great deal of labor. Now, this could be coming in the form of favor. However, favor is coming to you, whether it's somebody doing you a favor that has a very, very, very big payoff in the short term, or this is somebody that is using their power in your favor, or they are giving their power to you. That could also be lifting you up. in terms of your financial and professional prominence. This is also a great time for you Libra people that are maybe thinking about trying to build connections in your network to get into better working conditions, whether this is finding a new job or maybe simply making adjustments, making requests, negotiating changes on your present job. Because with Venus and Scorpio through the 7th, people will listen to you. After the 7th, Venus goes on into Sagittarius, where Venus will remain through November, or into November anyway. And the planet of affection, harmony, and favor makes you very popular when it's in your 3rd house. And you are finding that you are amassing a strong community around yourself. You are also able to find a lot of help in your community, among your friends, among your family, among the town, the village that you're in, the neighborhood that you're in, because people are going out of their way to do favors for you. They want to lift you up. They want to give you that powerful boost. The nice thing about this is that even the smallest gestures that they do for you seem to go really, really far. I would be remiss if I did not also, of course, remind you that when Venus is in our 3rd house, it is the time of the matchmaker. We tend to find people going out of their way to matchmake us with what we are looking for, whether it's matchmaking us with the right tools, the right locations, maybe even, yes, matchmaking us for love or matchmaking us for professional connections, financial connections. See who is showing up to guide you. You know, Venus in the 3rd house is very much like the fairy godmother when she is moving through that part of the chart. So if you have been used to going it alone, if you've been used to being, very much playing it solo anti-hero style, I know how it feels. This is not the time. This is not the time. Welcome the assistance, welcome the partnerships, welcome the collaborations, welcome the favors, and welcome the boosts. Because if you haven't noticed, this is kind of hitting everything all at once. For our new moon of the month, you have a new moon in your sign, in Libra, on the 6th. It's the once a year birthday new moon. Once again, another wild card kind of blessing. And a new moon in your 1st house is all about you getting a chance to create a new beginning, to launch something completely new, however you want to do it. So a new moon, fresh starts, seed planting, integration, clean slates. What is it that you want to now create in your life? What is it you want to start in any area of your astrology chart? What is the new journey you want to begin? Between the 6th and the 20th, it will be time to plant that seed, right? Do the physical work, maybe even do the magical work. Do a ceremony, do a working, something to get that going, to really give that momentum. Both is best. And what are you trying to start? Do you want to start a new relationship? Do you want to move? Do you want to start a new job? Do you want to take on a new spiritual path or practice? Do you want to travel? Do you want to go back to school? Do you want to take on a completely new education? The sky is the limit with a new moon in your 1st house. But it's also a test. It's how responsible are we for making the right wishes and knowing how and when to make wishes to make our reality a reality. On the 20th, we have a full moon in Aries, your 7th house of partnerships. Closest one-on-one connections. This is the boyfriend, girlfriend, BFF, business partner, husband, wife, your roommate, all the people you spend your closest one-on-one time with or have the closest one-on-one engagements with. Now, a full moon brings climaxes, culminations, and transitions. And so between the 20th of the month and the 3rd of November, a lot of chapters and stories are going through a transition in partnerships. This could actually be a very, very strong time for those of you that are in existing relationships, or maybe you're seeing somebody and you are looking forward to taking things to the next level. We are wrapping up one phase and we are stepping into a completely new phase, maybe taking it up a notch. However, this can also be a time where, yes, close one-on-one connections that may be hanging by a thread or they are proving to not be healthy could also be going through their final evaluation. All right. It kind of raises the stakes a little bit to kind of be like, look, we either get it together or we get apart. And this could show up, again, do not just focus on romance. If you are not in a situation that's hanging by a thread, if your relationship situation is nice and cool and emotionally healthy, this is probably going to go in the direction of the happy phase jump, not the other one. But even business partnerships or even difficult friendships, difficult close one-on-one connections with friends, long-term contracts and things like that could be getting put through their test. Now, it could be a good test because, if that test gets passed, well, then, hey, we get to step up a phase as well, and things start to clean up around here, and we're going into a much more harmonious and much more mutually enhancing, complementary way. However, if, this just kind of proves the point that this, friendship or this collaboration or this team or, this dating situation is not something that should be carried on any further, you know what? A replacement may most likely show up instead. So that is what I have got for you, Libra people. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate it. And of course, if you ever want to get a session with me, go on ahead to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com.